Welcome back to the channel, guys.
One eternity later.
Today we're going to be cutting the fenders of my Mark 1, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. I'm going to start with the front ones obviously first and then work my way to the rear. I don't know if I'll get to the rears today because I have a pretty busy schedule, but the fronts are easy to do, so I'll show you how to do it. No, I'm not no body guy, so if I'm doing it in a way where it looks like I'm a hack, I'm sorry. I don't know, I'm just going with the flow. But what I initially did is I taped up my fender so I could get the outer line of the fender flare, and then I just self-tapped them in just to keep them in place, and I know where the holes are going to be, and then I'm going to use nut inserts and proper fasteners to hold these fenders on as of the back as well. I also got a rubber seam seal from Amazon. That's the name of it. Fender flare edge trim, and essentially this goes in between here, so no air gets in between and pulls on the fender flare. I mean, not that it would really do anything like that, but it's just aesthetically more pleasing, and I would assume it kind of provides a nicer seal. So let's get started. Alright, so I got all my holes placed. Here, blah blah blah, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill them out first, and then I'm gonna put my nut inserts in first before I decide to cut the fenders, just so I know how much space I have. It's better to do the nut inserts first, I think, at least, because if you cut first, and then let's say you have to drill a bigger hole for your nut insert, and then you cut a little bit too much, then you don't have much material to work with, and then you would probably have to weld in a little piece, like a little tank, so that you could put your nut insert in and keep it on, but it won't be as structurally as sound as having full material in without being welded in. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to start on that now. I'm just going to get the correct drill bit size for the M6 nut insert I'm going to be using, and we'll get started. Just to show you what a nut insert looks like, focus. That's a nut insert. So how it works essentially is there's a crush point where all these little lines are, and when you put it into the hole you drilled, that's perfectly sized to just slide in this nut insert without being loose in the bore. You would put it against it, have it flush inside the fender, and you have a special tool with a nut or a specialty nut that you could put a wrench on and hold it in place while you get an impact gun or a driver with the required head that's going to be fastened into it. It's going to be like a special bolt, and it'll essentially pull the nut insert forward, and as this is squishing, it will squish in between the fender, and it'll have a nice little seal. The only downfall of these is if you don't do them correctly, you can have them spin on you. Let's say you put your bolt in and you accidentally cross-thread it in. Like, it's hard to do it, but if you cross-thread it without putting it in by hand first, and you just impact it in, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever the case may be, you can have it slip inside the fender or whatever surface you're putting your nut insert into. And then it's a pain in the butt to get the nut out, because it's just, or the bolt out of the nut insert, because it'll just continuously spin. So it's just a word of advice: do it right once and you don't cry after, like I have. Now that we have our holes drilled, we're gonna put our nut inserts in, and you see how it's perfect. Like, there's no wiggle room. That's what you want, because when it goes to tighten against the body, it's going to have a nice tight fitment. But before I do that, I want to cut the fender first, but I'm going to mark in line with the marker just to know how much I'm going to cut off and go from there. Alright, we're going to do some arts and crafts, and forgive me, I suck at arts and crafts, so if I cut it bad, oops, and if I mark it bad, oh well. Just try to follow it as smooth as I possibly can. Giving myself a little bit of material to work with just in case. So you don't want to take off way too much, just enough. Here. And now alright. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to drill a little hole into the body, preferably right here so I could get my It's aggressive. But the reason why I did that is I'm going to get my reciprocating saw, well, my friend's reciprocating saw that he greatly, and I very much appreciate, lets me borrow so I could cut the fender out nicely. And instead of using a angle grinder, because that would be a pain in the butt. So I'm going to grab that tool and get to work.
You're doing amazing, sweetie. Wow, look at her go.
Alright, every ounce of my body is jiggling and wiggling, and I'm partially deaf. I should have got earplugs, but that's my problem, and it shouldn't be yours, because you're going to learn from my mistake, and that's being an idiot and not putting in headphones or earplugs.
What?
Work first, safety second, I guess. I'm kidding, that's not what I'm promoting. Always safety first. Never ever put yourself in danger. Yes. Okay, so cut off, and I gotta get this lovely inner fender liner from 37 years ago off this car. Oh, hello. I found another hole. Hello. Okay, so I gotta do some more body work there, and yep. Now that the fender's cut, I'm gonna smooth it out with a cookie wheel just to kind of get all this stuff off of it and paint it up a little bit. I'm gonna add brush paint on. It'll be fine. I would sand it down, but this car is gonna get repainted soon, so I'll just get my hand brush on the paint, and it'll do the job. But if I was in a situation where I'm not getting this car painted, I would definitely go the extra mile to kind of sand everything down, primer it, put a couple layers of primer, and then I would add some paint, and then I would do like a layer of like a wax, like there's a wax coating that you can get, and I would just put it along the surface and then bolt my kit on. But since it's going to get professionally painted one day, I really don't care, and that one day is going to be sooner than later, so it'll be fine. It's not going in the rain, it's not going to see overcast or forecast or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm not a weather guy, so whatever it is, all the weather people could yell at me. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to pull that off and start with the rib nuts. I'm going to take the tape off And we got to do that to the other side, which is scary. It's probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. Wow. Slurred my speech so bad there. Other than cutting the hood of my grandpa's fiberglass hood. That was repetitive. Edit that out. Edit it out. I don't want that. Alright. After 14 hours trying to find the right tool. I won't take that lightning next time, I promise. Okay, so we're gonna take this finger wire out. You know, it would help if I took off the wheel, but I like suffering. Suffering is fun. Or I could just turn the wheel, that helps. But I don't want to take off the wheel. Okay, so that's off. And there's one more 225. God knows why there's 235s. I would not put this in here. Hello? Who are you? I heard a bang. I don't know what's going on over there. So I'm playing guitar here over there. Another one. Turn it that way. Okay, this is how you can tell I'm stubborn. Because I won't go. So just pull off the wheel. I would rather sit here for another hour trying to get this out without light. 2. Why is it so long? Get out of there. Alright. Yeah! I always wanted to do that. That was fun. Okay, all nicey nicey. Okay, so this is the tool I was talking about. It has a chamfered edge, just so it can sit in the groove of here when it tightens. When a nut tightens against this tool, we'll pull it through, and then you have your wrench. Use your box end and you hold it firmly against the body, and then you get your driver and then pull it forward and that was a mouthful. Oh god. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm gonna have a thread insert there, or nut insert rather. We're gonna have our wrench sit there for a second. Hopefully it doesn't fall. Get our driver, 10 mil and a 15. Have it sit. I got punched in the face with my wrench because I wasn't paying attention. Alright, now that we're in, I'll show you quickly what it looks like. And I'm going to do that for the rest of them. See, so I don't know, zooming in will do better. Okay, there we go. Focus. So now that's your insert in. And then in the back, it's squished. So it has a positive lock against the metal you're bolting it into, but obviously you can't do it into something that's not thin sheet metal, or, you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. You'll figure it out. Okay, let's do that to the rest. I had to take it off because I almost forgot to put the seal on it. So, let's start this over again. We're going to just clean up the surface. A little bit of acetone, just so that the two-way tape could stick to the fender flare better. And it doesn't come off when you're applying it. So when you go to bolt it up, hold it nice and firmly. Mind you, these fender flares are old and the paint's chipping off, but what can you do, right? And then we're just going to get our seal. Run it across. Always a pain in the butt to get that off. Get that out of the way so you don't spill. Start through the edges. Hey, come on. Don't be like that. Okay. That looks good. I like that. I like it, Picasso. Right. So, I got the passenger side fender flare bolted up alongside the front lip. I'm gonna call it quits for today. Ran out of time. Man, doing these are time consuming. Like, I didn't think it would take that long to cut fenders and put a couple riv nuts in, but geez, it takes a while. But they came out nice. I got proper gap in between the fenders now and the wheel, so I don't have to worry about it contacting anymore. And then got the front lip buttoned up. Looks good. Now I just gotta do the driver's side and the rears, but the rears will be on a different video. I can't do that right now. You literally have to cut the fenders out, and then there's like a 2-layer fender. So when you cut the outer fender out, there's an inner fender. So you have to actually make a little plate to weld in, but it's coming along. Oh, and I'll show you under hood. I'm gonna have to put you on the stand for a second. All right, here we go. Here is under hood. Just a little view for you guys. I decided to just paint the valve cover orange and the crossbar orange, the strut tower bar, because I thought it would look good, match with the fenders. Oh shit! Okay, that's not working. Hold on. Oh, technical error. So just take a look at that. Yeah, it's coming along. Do a little side profile. Alright guys, till next time, we'll be doing the rear fenders together, but for now, I'm pooped, and I'll talk to you guys soon.